Welcome, everybody, to F4, where we are at the Mystery Grand Prix. It's round 2, volume 2 of the Mystery Grand Prix, where I'm joined by the wonderful Sparrow Maltby, and they're with me here. Why can I not share this? What's going on?
T-Rex goes P3. Oh, Wrongson nearly loses it, going on to the back straight. Black Wolf has joined, he's not going to be able to get in a car, there's only 2 seconds left. Wrongson across the line, stays P2. Down by a second. Blue Goats up on his time. Jason Bear goes into pole position. What a lap by the Frenchman. Beating out the Finnish Verivapani. As Vries has joined the session as well. Angry Danish driver has retired, and Lou Goats goes off the track and into the barrier quite heavily. Chris Pratt up on his time by 2/10 as Alex goes P5. Good luck by him in the Ferrari. Who is that Aston Martin of Mark? I need to know. Oh, that is the German. As Chris Pratt goes P9. Bios across the line. Doesn't improve. As Lou Goats and T-Rex are the last people to go across the line. Vries is in the Ferrari. Interesting scenes here. As that is qualifying over. Vries just about managed to get in that Ferrari. And that is qualifying done. Jason Bear with pole position for Alfa Romeo. Followed by Apo Toolpole in the house. Wrongson P3, T-Rex P4, Alex P5, Lugots P6, Jam, I'm just gonna call him, P7, Mark P8, Chris Pat P9, Toby P10, Filippo P11, Bios P12, Aspect P13, Vista P14, Bjorn P15, and Isfod the last guy on track. As you know, wait for the guys to...
I have returned.
As Darius has returned.
Apologies, I was on the phone to a family member. And Sparrow, you've been doing a great little job these last few weeks, haven't you?
I have, yes. I've done a lot of commentary.
Ah.
I've commentated both F5 and F4 for the past 2 weeks. Replacing Jack Bailey.
What did I used to do? Yeah, I used to just do this. Do F5 and F4, yeah.
Yep. You were... And then I also race in F3, which is jam-packed.
Yeah.
I nearly almost raced in F2 last week as well, but...
There were some weeks I did F4, F3, and F1 commentary at the start of the season, before yourself and Lucas were so kind to join in. My partner almost left me because of it. That's not true, but yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot. But yep, things are happening. Why aren't you playing GT7?
Me?
Yeah, you. Oh, never
Oh,
mind. Hold
so
on.
there we go.
We'll
I'll
keep
answer that
that for a
question in a
bit.
bit.
As there's
5 red
5 red
lights.
lights, I drop my controller, and it's lights out,
Lights
and
out and
away
away
we
we
go.
go.
The Alfa Romeo Gisela gets away. Okay, Apple Topo, those side by side, and Matthew Wrongson out of nowhere is
Blooming
well.
heck.
I don't know what Matthew's doing. I've got no sound either for some reason. Anyway, Lugotza and Jamie's fighting there further down the field.
There's a
Why,
spinning Haas of Chris Pratt.
why do I have no
Postman
sound?
Pat has centered a bit too hard. Aspect is up into P9. Vries, after just racing in F5, is now fighting Toby for P12, as T-Rex and Lugoats are fighting. Through Luffield, still side by side. Lugots on the outside, gets the move done. As Vera Vapani, or Apo Sulpo, which is much easier to say, as Bjorn gets past
Gets past Bastion.
Vries.
Right, so 17 drivers on the grid, a few late showers. Let's have a look here as the Ferrari of Vries and Isfad, the two F5 boys, are going to go side by side down the hangar straight into Stowe, with the Aston Martin and the Haas of Vista and Chris Pratt waiting in the wings. Aspect and Bios fighting for the field. And speaking of Bios, he is gone, and that will bring out the VSC. Interestingly enough. So let's have a look at the drivers and who's made the most gains and losses from that first lap of racing. Chris Pratt down 7 places for him. T-Rex down 2. Timbo and Apple down 1 apiece. Matthew up 1. Alex up 1. Luis up 1. Callum Ogden up 4. Philip up 1. Bjorn up 3. Esfad up 3. And Bastian up 3.
So, back to the question, why aren't I doing GT7? It's a very good question. If I'll be perfectly honest with you, I don't have the time to do GT7.
Rah.
Because it's on a weekday.
We're doing 1 hour of Le Mans on Wednesday night. 1 hour of Le Mans as an endurance race. And I can tell you, it is hard as we are back racing again, and Gisela Burl leads the way. T-Rex and Lugotza are fighting side by side into Maggots and Beckett. They go coming out of Cop's Corner. We're fighting on board with Jammies at the moment. Ronan waiting in the wings here, looking to take on Luis to get into P5 with Alex Theodore right in front of Luis Marion.
Here comes Apo on Wrongson for P2.
And they're going to go side by side.
Nearly going side by side into Stowe. Same thing with Lugoats and Alex getting very close.
Stowe, turn 15 in Silverstone. You need to be very careful there, as it is very easy to make contact. As there's a lot of chaos behind Ronan, with Mark, Jammies, and Aspect all battling as DRS finally gets enabled. Who's spun around?
Vries the Ferraris. He's going into the pits now. Does he have front wing damage? No, he doesn't. Pulling into the pits.
Isfad overtaking Vista. Vista overtaking Isfad. They're going to go side by side into turn 1.
Got a bit of contact between Alex and Lugots. Mark's round.
Apo and Matthew still fighting. Matthew with the DRS assisted overtake.
Here comes T-Rex on Alex around the outside of Brooklands.
Oh, this is lovely from Alex Theodore. He's been a great pickup this season. He's raced every race in F3 and F4. You know, that's what you love to see.
Has he actually raced every race in F3?
I think so, yeah. You know, special shout out to you, Alex. Great stuff, mate.
If he has, then congratulations to him for racing in 2 divisions at once.
Yeah.
Well, not at the same time, obviously, but
he splits himself
that'll
into 2.
be amazing if he did 2 at once. As we could see, a 3-way fight. Here comes Wrongton round the outside of Jason Burr.
Oh my
into
god.
Stowe, and Apo Sulpol follows suit.
DRS very powerful here as T-Rex also gets past Lugotza, and I haven't played my favourite sound in about 3 weeks since Jack hasn't been here. Where is that motherfucking thing?
Where is it?
Ah, there it is. Cover your ears.
There it is, the return.
The return of the T-Rex. Okay, having a look at the tyres now. Most drivers electing for the mediums by the look of it, with a few outliers on the hards. Geezer burn
There's
on
a
the
lot
hards.
of people in the hards. It's mainly like a 50-50 split between the two. As Chris Pack gets a 3-second for multiple warnings of exceeding track limits.
Oh, the postman having a bad
Bloody
start to
hell,
the
that
race.
was a mouthful.
And here we go. Apo side by side with Matthew almost. Matthew managed to keep the position, but here we go into Brooklands, is it? No, Luffield, sorry.
Yeah,
Geeson Burl also arriving in the scene. This really benefits him. These two drivers on the faster tyres fighting for the moment. And now Apo looking at Matthew's gearbox into Cop's corner. And we go. We're riding on board with Mr. Apo Topo here. Maggots and Beckett's was a bit of a contentious sector or area of the track for Matthew last season. He just couldn't take it. As Bjorn Ramison gets a 3-second time penalty.
And spins.
And Apo's gotten such a better release there. Oh my, he has just sailed away.
Driver. And Bjorn is just stopped on the grass at the old pit exit. As Philip goes around the outside of Toby. What a move!
And Alex gets
by the
past
Williams
Ronan.
driver. Tiny bit of contact between T-Rex and Alex as Lugoats gets past around the outside. Great move by him.
This is very nip and tuck here. Further down the field, Chris Pat is in the pits again. Puts Isbot up to P13. Jammy's very close to the back of Ronan here into turn 3. I think it's turn 3 anyway. It is turn 3 Village. And we are riding on board with Jammies as they go down on the run down to Brooklands here. No overtake here. Further up the field.
Move on Alex down the inside, still side by side. Lugoats around the outside.
He's not giving this one up,
Doesn't quite get the move done at Luffield as Bjorn Rasmussen retires from the session in the pit lane. How many laps has he done so far this season?
Less than 30 now.
Less than 30. Legendary. As Callum Ogden now gets a 3-second penalty for exceeding track limits multiple times. Jason Bear gets past Wrongson now as Wrongson is ghosted.
It looks like, yeah, he could be having internet issues. But Jason managing to stay ahead. Matthew not going away just yet, and Philippo and Callum Ogden are fighting further down the field.
Mr. Apo Topol could potentially pull outside the DRS range of these two. Alex on the rear bumper, down the inside. Takes a bit too much curb, trying to get past Lugoats.
That's compromised him too, Ronan Clark, who is in behind, waiting in the wings to get a move done here. But here comes Alex Theodore on the run into Brooklands, gets the move done before the braking zone. Very clean from Alex, and that puts him up to P4.
Lugoats trying to hang it round the outside of Luffield. Can't quite get the move done as Alex gets a tiny snap out of the corner.
And that's going to compromise him. And here comes Lewis.
Make a move.
Lewis goes inside, then outside. Elects not to make the move into Cops. Alex flashing red as well. No. Whoa, what was that? No battery left for him.
Wide.
Big snap of oversteer there for Lugoats. And that will compromise him. As both these drivers have no battery left. And Ronan Clark is waiting in the wings, playing with his prey.
As Callum Ogden gets another 3-second. Down the inside goes Jason Bear. Aspect retires from the session.
Surely to bring out the safety car. Where's he lost?
Here comes T-Rex around the outside of
Lugoats.
Lugoats hanging it around the outside. Here we have a 4-way fight for P4. This is amazing scenes.
This is great stuff.
Less than 4/10 separating those four drivers.
Bit of contact with the back of Ronan's gearbox here.
Through down the inside goes Alex.
And there's a bit more contact. Oh God.
Round
And
the outside goes Jammy.
we're watching. We're
This
riding
is
on board with
amazing.
Jammy. We're riding on board with Jammies here, as he's got the best seat in the house at the moment to witness this carnage. As Bjorn Ramazan said, he got rear wing damage.
Yeah, probably because of the spin that he had.
Yeah. And this, as Alex takes a lot of curb there on the exit of turn, what is that? Turn 8, turn 11, 8.
Oh, Jammy goes
Jammy's,
wide.
that's not even a track limit. That's a it's a different country. As he's going through Maggots and Beckett's now.
He's in Scotland.
Yeah, pretty much. As Ronan now closing in on Lugos, here we go.
Zappo Tulpol goes past G Sunbear. I love this.
As speaking of Ronan, he's got a 3-second time penalty.
That's amazing. As soon as you play the song, he's like, I'm gonna get a 3 second.
Oh God!
Middle finger.
Well, Ronan is rapidly closing down on Matthew, his nemesis of this season. Matthew always has a few antagonists.
So many nemesis.
Nemesis. And speaking of Ronan now has Lugots sniffing his gearbox.
He's gonna get demolished by Lugots, maybe.
Yeah, Lugots showing very good pace since coming back to ERO.
Speaking of, sorry to bring some facts into this, but I've actually been to Brooklands before. It's an old racing track. One of the first in the UK.
Yeah.
It's around London, around the London area, just outside of it. It's a great visit. Recommendation.
Sparrow gets use discount code Sparrow Maltby in the checkout for 15% off.
You use discount Dragon to book your visit. We are not sponsored by Brooklands Museum, but that would have been amazing.
This is not a scrounge. I do some burgers past that.
At least they're going to go side by side here. Oh my God! Into the Lewis Hamilton corner we go. Jason Bear managing to hold the position here. He's giving Apo a run for his money. And if you're Apo Topo here, you need to get past very quickly because Jason's going to be on the quicker tyres for the second half of this race, providing no safety cars are going to happen. Yes, Sparrow, you can race tomorrow for space in F2.
Yay!
Apo now has DRS, needs to get this moved on. Both drivers have a lot of ERS, so a lot of battery remaining, so this isn't going to be straightforward. He's not using any ERS here, though.
Here comes Lugots down the inside of T-Rex into Brooklands.
Oh God!
Bit of contact. Keep it clean side, a bit of contact.
The thing is, if you're Apo here, yeah, you need to be using battery from the start of that straight. You need to commit to the overtake because otherwise, you're just holding yourself and Gison up. You're exposing yourself to Wrongson of all people.
You don't want to expose yourself to Wrongson. No,
I hope Matthew gets a podium today. I really do. I really do.
It's his own Grand Prix.
You know,
he's been through a lot of trouble. As Apo goes off the track.
Yeah, he's caused half of it though.
Here we go. Down the inside.
Apo is taking the advice on board. He's trying to get this move done, but he can't.
Gets past Lugots.
We know what that means.
Yep. There we go.
Now, because Ronan and Lewis have been fighting so much, they've lost so much time. But saying that, oh my God.
I'm gonna...
Apo is really getting impatient here. He's getting annoyed almost. You can feel the frustration. And now is he going to make the move now? Because he's very close here, and he just needs a good exit now. And it looks like he's got it, and he's taken our advice, and he's gone the battery straight away. But he's stopped using.
Why would you stop using? Just drain it as Lugots gets past T-Rex.
Oh,
T-Rex tries to switch back round the outside into Luffield.
He's going to get a great exit here. He's going to get a rocket ship of an exit, but it's not enough.
It's not enough. He's not even close.
He's drifting even almost. Further up the field, Geese and Barrel close behind Apotopo. Into Maggots and Beckett's they go. Timbo and Jammies fighting further down the field for P7. Geeson now into the maintenance phase of his tyres, I think. He's got another 6 laps or so to go. Apple will be pitting soon. Undercut is always more powerful than the overcut in this game. It's interesting stuff here.
This Vries is on 7-lap-old softs. Go on, lad.
Psycho. Oh, and that's really it for the skirmishing between Apo and Geeson for now. Matthew's still relatively close by. He's done very well to actually stick with this pack. I have to give him credit.
Yeah, you definitely have to give him credit.
Because I know he's going to blow up later on in the race, but like up to this point, he's had 10 solid laps, you know? Which is good for Matthew. It's good stuff.
Sorry, I'm just...
No, you're all good.
I need to send Lucas a message.
Jammies is closing in on Filippo for P8. Won't be able to make the move in this section of the track. However, he will make it at a later point. By the looks of it. As Ronan still within that 1 second of Lugo's. However, Alex is within 3 seconds of him. So at the moment, as it would stand, Ronan would be in P6. Our second place in the championship at the moment. As Apotopo is now losing time rapidly to Geeson Barrel. Geeson with the DRS.
On the outside. That's the move done. As Jammy gets past Philip.
And here we go.
I don't know which corner.
Geeson Barrel up to P1, and I think it's already reached that point where the mediums are not as fast as the hards anymore. The crossover has happened. And this all plays into Geeson Barrel's hands because no safety car yet. All
comes Apo.
And here comes Apo.
Using ERS and stops using it halfway down the straight once again as Vries gets a 3 second now.
And due to this fighting, Matthew has arrived on the scene.
Exactly. Here we go. Could we see the Red Bull driver?
Is the Wrongson Express going to come to the station?
That's going to be a golden quote, I'm telling you that now.
Is the Wrongson Express going to come a knocking? Doesn't look like it just yet. Poor Matthew.
Not just yet. Could we see a potential 3 wide into Stowe?
But Matthew just can't take Maggots and Beckett. This is just his problem. If he could take it. Oh, as Geeson Barrel has a massive snap of oversteer there. Oh my.
Here comes Wrongson. Here comes the Wrongson Express.
Ronson coming knocking. Here she comes.
Chugga choo choo. And Apo's in the pits.
Apo is in the pits.
Slow
First of our
down.
drivers.
You slow down.
Avoids the 5 second time penalty. Now, if you're Matthew here, you need to push like a motherfucker. Filippo and Jammies fighting further down the field. Lugo's up to P3 as Alex pits.
As there is a Ferrari in front of Geeson Bear of Vries about to be lapped.
I don't think Vries is in the session. Right?
Vries is just being lapped. He is in the session. His car did go solid for the tiniest amount of time.
Well, then I have no idea. Geeson Barrel now over a second clear of Matthew. But the real question now is, as the strategies have been split, where will he be in relation to Apo when he pits? What derails Apo now, though, is a safety car.
Yep. As he is now down in P11, behind the Aston Martin of Vista.
That will unravel his race altogether.
And it's within the RS range of the Aston.
As Ronan now closing in on Lugo. It's
And
4
Wrongson is
P3.
into the pits.
Oh, now Matthew? Where do you come out?
And
Very
Lugos
long
in
pit
the
here.
pits as well.
Very, very long pit here, as lots of drivers are pitting this lap. But I don't like it. If you're the medium runner here, I don't like pitting this late.
Yep.
You know? By that logic, you should almost just stick it out for another three laps and just go in the softs.
Yep.
Well, anyway.
Hey ho.
Hey ho, I'm an F5, what do I know?
Hey ho, I'm an F3. What do I know?
That's Apo now out ahead of Matthew from his pit stop, and he's ahead
By
by
a
quite
huge margin, nearly
over
3 seconds.
Yeah,
Whoa.
that's what I'm
The
saying.
undercut
Undercut's
is-
so powerful in this game. It's more over OP in this game than any other previous game.
Yep.
It is broken. And Guillaume Barrel is going to have to get a move on here.
And
Speaking of
3
Guillaume
seconds.
Barrel, he has gone a 3 second.
That
Himself
is
and Ronan.
unlucky for the Alfa Romeo driver.
Bit of a disaster.
Because I nearly get confused between Alfa Romeo and Alfa Tauri. Just like Nick
Nick
Hill.
Hill. Poor
Nick
Nick.
Hill was so as in comes Guy Somber. Slow down.
Just
Which
about.
he does.
I'm expecting Ronan to follow in suit, which he does as well.
Yep.
Alex
And in
Theodore
comes
as well.
Alex as well.
Now, if you're Filippo,
Very cautious from Alex.
what do you do here?
And Philip stays out.
Is Phillips going for the softs?
Philip's going for the softs.
Or he's
He has
hanging
to
for a
at this
safety
rate.
car? Is Mark
Yep.
going to do the same? Mark stays out. Now it's
Into the
interesting.
lead
Now,
goes the Williams.
now
even
where
though
does
he is
Apple
yet
Topo
to
come out? Apple's going to come out miles ahead of these guys.
So that's the fastest lap.
He's going to come out
Jason
absolutely
Burr
miles.
just coming out to the pit lane now.
And Mark's going to be
When he gets
overtaken
caught by
Apple.
Wrongson here, Wrongson is right behind him. As Apo gets past Mark, and Alex gets a 3 second.
Oh, it's Apple's race to lose now, in my opinion. As long as he
It
doesn't spin.
legit is Apo's race to lose.
Just got to keep it on track.
Yep. Just gotta keep it within the track limits, track confinements, and
Salavi.
relax. As Toby is very close to Alex going through Luffield. Just to bring us further down the field. Could he go down the inside into Cops? He had a look, he's nearly made Alex go wide. As Lugots is very close behind Vista, and Wrongson is very close behind G. Somber. Here comes Lugots on the Aston Martin, getting the move done very easily.
Yeah. Can Toby Fennell make a move in Alex Theodore into Stowe? It doesn't look like it. Interesting, more interesting further up the field. Matthew staying with Geeson, and at this rate, Matthew Wrongson is into P2 for this race.
He is indeed. Go on, Matthew.
We will never hear the end of this if Matthew gets P2.
Exactly. Here comes Jason Burr. Round the outside of Mark. Does the cheeky little switchback. What a move!
Mark's a
From
clean
G.
racer though.
Somber.
He knows when he understands that he
Yeah.
can't compete with the tire differential there.
And here comes Wrongson. Following suit. Mark gives him room. Mark lets him through. Mark is an amazing driver.
No, he's good.
I'm
Mark's a
liking
fair
Mark
driver.
already.
Yeah, he's a fair driver. The German, I think his second name is Sternego.
Yep.
He's a good lad.
He is indeed.
Further up the
Oh,
field,
well.
Filippo, though, is still hanging on for a safety car or some intervention from the Lord above. It doesn't look like it's going to come, though. Silverstone, not a very safety car heavy track either.
It's not. The only time you can get a safety car around here is into the pits comes Philip. Slow down, my guy. As he gets a see? Slow down. Next time, please, mate.
T-Rex and
Dankeschön.
Vista. T-Rex, after getting the position from Vista, has 15 lap old hards. That is not worthy of a roar.
Exactly.
As Vries gets
The
another
only
3-second time penalty.
As there is a spinning Alex Theodore.
Guillaume Barrel
Just
now
coming
setting the
past
fastest
the
lap of the race. So this is
And
the
there
interesting
goes
thing now. He's got
Liverpool.
9 laps to overtake Apple and build a 3-second gap. And he's got... basically, these tyres are in their window for the next 9 laps.
Yep,
So,
definitely.
9 laps of time trial. Just you in the track, nobody else there. What can you do? Loads of clear air in front of him for at least a lap or two, as Filippo and Alex are fighting further down the field. Lugoats and Mark are fighting for P4, and Toby and Vista are fighting for P7. I think Christopher's Vista's name. The South African gentleman.
Yes, he is. South African.
And speaking of these two, they're still fighting. Jammies and Vista. Vista lagging a bit on my screen, but anyway.
Here's Christopher as Vista.
He's lagging horribly.
Closes within 2 seconds of the Haas driver.
And it's game on here in Milton Keynes.
Yep.
Lovely part of the
Who will
country.
win?
It is a lovely part of the country. It's picturesque and loads of fields and hills and shit.
Yep.
And it doesn't rain there at all like it does every single day in Manchester. Every second it rains.
The depressing part of Manchester.
Yeah, the mighty northwest as Vista enters into the pit.
Finally, as his teammate Mark, stint of the season, 17 laps.
Yeah, he's really hanging out for that safety car. If it comes, he'll look like a genius.
Yep.
But as
I'd
it
also like to
stands,
say I did a similar sort of stint yesterday in a league race that I had around Kota.
Coda's crazy for tire deck as well.
On hard as T-Rex gets past Mark. That does not deserve.
No.
Oh,
Well, it was a
T-Rex.
gratuity of a pass.
If it's a pass on someone who's got similar tyre wear,
Oh, then it's definitely a roar.
it's definitely not.
Matthew almost being dropped now by Guillaume Barrel, so Matthew really needs to push on here if he wants to get that second place and cap off what's going to be an amazing race for him.
Yep.
Guillaume Barrel now within 1 second of Apo. He's on the fresher, softer compounded tyres. What can he do? Oh, he's just so much quicker under braking. Look at that. But Apple getting a better exit. They're saying that at the penultimate and the final corner. Mark finally concedes there's not going to be a safety car in this race and pits.
Definitely going onto the soft compound.
Oh, he has to, yeah. Geeson, Arthur and Monche has not really gained any time in that whole sector there. Apo has been smart though. He knew this was coming and he's been saving up his battery as Vista gets another 3-second time penalty. His spot up to P11 as Mark pits.
Mark is going to still be in the top 12 and getting points for Aston Martin. I'm not sure where they are in the constructors. They're 5th in the constructors. Go on. It's not going to really help the fight for P4.
But here comes Geeson Barrel into Stoke. Is he going to make the move? He's going to go now. He thinks now is the right time. Side by side we go. Not a lot of space given. It's hard but fair racing between the two of them. And Geeson finally up to P1 now. Now it's Apple's turn to keep within 3 seconds of him, of the Frenchman, for the next 7 laps. And he's already half a second clear. Apple needs to really get on with it now.
He does indeed. He has to start using the battery that he has saved up, even though it is.
Well, he needs to stay within DRS. That's the main thing.
Yep,
If he can do that, he's got a chance.
Yep. I'd also just like to say, Golden Quotes has been filled of 3 F5 moments.
F5, oh god.
Yep, just dead. As Breeze gets a 3-second.
Jammies now is the only driver with DRS apart from Apple at the moment.
This just says the fastest lap of the race.
And Lister's like, you know what, I'm going to get another point for Aston Martin.
As Jason Bear goes extremely wide at Corps. Can Appo pole? 3 seconds.
Oh, and Matthew gets a 3 seconds!
3 seconds. That could potentially be his P2 chance, so it's definitely his P2 chance over. I've got my hands on my head right now. In disbelief.
I think the world needs to see this. I can't believe that nobody's watching this. Well, 11 people are watching it, but Matthew Wrightson, Matthew Wrongson, Matthew Choo Choo Train Wrongson has a chance at a podium here. He had a chance at P2, but he squandered that. But this is unheard of stuff. His old arch nemesis Lugoats, though, is closing down on him.
Oh, that would be... I want to see this fight if it goes down to the end between them two. I would love to see that.
This is all going to happen now. It's all going to come down to this now. The final 5 laps as Apple rapidly closing in on Gisa and Beryl with the assisted DRS. As Mark Sternagel sets the fastest lap of the race. The only driver, 3 drivers in the top 7 without a penalty are Apple, Toby and Jammies. So, lots to talk about here, lots to see. What's going to happen in the last 20% of this race?
Should we do interviews for the top 3?
I don't know.
I'd like to hear Wrongson if he gets onto the podium. Absolutely scream.
Further down the field, Jamie's still sticking with Toby Fennell as Alex Theodore gets another 3-second time penalty. Jamie's not giving this up, though the fight for P6 is really on. Is well and 30 on, and even potentially P5 because Ronan Clark isn't within 3 seconds. Now Jamie's really close to the back of gearbox Toby here in his AlphaTauri. Appo staying with Gisa and Beryl as well for these last 4 laps of the race. So plenty to see here, plenty to talk about, lots of action happening on the track.
Here comes Appo, gaining on Gieson.
Yeah, Appo if Appo's got any sense here, he'll just stay behind. Okay, yes, there's going to be a bit of dirty air, but just you don't have to push here for the win. You don't need to fight the guy. You literally just need to hang on with him for 3 seconds for the next 4 laps. But he is closing in on Gieson Beryl rapidly there. Less than 3/10 separating them now. Into Maggots and Beckett's they go. And that's all fine from them there.
Here we go. Into the DRS straight now. Going into Stowe. Is he going to make the move?
Well, it looks like he's going to have to now, but he's not using his battery then again. But here comes Gieson Beryl.
Fighter.
And he's going to get edge him his way ahead, but this is not over yet. This is great stuff from the two of them. Very clean so far. Appo's still hanging around. On the Sagigi, that was contact there on the exit of the last turn. Coming into turn 1, though, Gieson Beryl is going to hold the position after those flurries of skirmishes between the two drivers. Very clean stuff, mostly from them. Great to see. Has that let Matthew catch up, though? No, he's actually dropped further afield. And Lugoats closing in almost within that 1 second now.
Don't choke, Wrongson. Don't choke. As Vista makes a move on his FOD.
And here comes Appo again into Brooklands. These two. It's a shame Gieson Beryl has the time penalty, isn't it? Because he's putting on quite the show here.
He is indeed. He's just producing content.
Yeah.
Amazing scenes.
Now, as Lugo's now almost, he's screaming to get within that 1 second.
He's so close.
Thousandths of a second in it. Nothing really here. And this is Matthew's weakest part of the track as well. So he will gain, but he will not get DRS's jam. He finally gets a 3-second time penalty. That secures P6 for Toby at least.
Here goes Apo down the inside.
Again, these two
Are
are
they
going to
make contact? G-Song goes off the track. Similar sort of action to last time. Who is going to be leading?
But Apple takes a lot of curve there.
This is really close between the two of them, side by side across the line. Here we go. Into turn 1. Very, very close between the two. G-Song gets ahead.
Again, the exact same, a carbon copy of the lap before. These two battling it out, dueling in the last sector every time. And Apple's lost a bit of time. I think he's got a bad exit out of Village. And that's going to compromise him.
Rongson's worst nightmare has occurred.
Himself via Lugos. For a podium. This is what you all came to see, boys and girls.
Who's ready to see Rongson potentially lose a podium?
In the dying embers, to Lugos.
To his arch nemesis.
Oh my god, can you imagine the scenes?
Here we go. Through Cop's corner.
Oh, and Lugos is right behind Matthew now. Matthew's going to be feeling the pressure, but pressure's for tyres, Rongson. Matthew's quite...
Screw up. He goes tiny bit deep through the final part.
And here comes Lugos with DRS.
Down the inside.
And here comes Luis. What way is he going? He goes inside, outside. Almost loses off the track into Stowe. He gets the move done.
Ronson's lost it.
No!
He's gone. Oh my goodness. We are going on to the penultimate lap of the race.
Oh, you know what's going to happen now.
We are going to have a very, very angry Rongson. He's going to be absolutely furious with that in the F4 chat.
Yeah, well...
As he could be overtaken by Toby now.
He will be overtaken by Toby. Toby going to get up to P5 now because of that. Maybe even more. No, he's not. He's 5.5 seconds away from Ronan.
Yep.
As Giesenberg hasn't managed to pull away from Apo.
Because he is actually being overtaken by Apo. Apo could be on for a victory here. He's confirmed to get a victory unless he gets a penalty. As we now go into Cop's corner with Apo leading. Can G-Sunbear potentially fight his way to a P1 on track? As he's cutting a lot of maggots and Beckett's. As we now head onto the Wellington Straight, I think it is. I could be wrong.
Hanger,
thank you.
That's all good.
Wellington Straight is going into Brooklands. I got confused between the two.
It's the same. Don't worry.
Basically the same thing. As we are now heading on to the final lap of the race here in F4. Apo Tulpol, your race leader in the Haas, followed by G-Sunbear in the Alfa Romeo. Here we go. Who's going to take the victory? It's obviously going to be Apo, but provide some content for us, lads.
Victory on the track.
It's the main thing that everyone wants. As Apo is pulling away and using a tiny bit of ERS just to confirm his lead.
Alex Theodore gets another 3-second time penalty.
How many is that now?
Let's have a look.
That is 9.
9. The only other person on 9 is his teammate in the Ferrari for today, Bastian. Toby Fennell is going to be having a very interesting time here because there's going to be penalties in front of him. And he's going to be up to P5 and he's going to be quite happy with himself here.
Who's going to win it out on track? Through Maggots and Beckett's now. Apo Tulpol. Can he keep his race victory? He's definitely going to keep it, but can he keep it on track? Here comes G-Sunbear. Down the inside into Stowe. Just like Vince Fenestreza. on Lucas Sofroniak earlier on in the season in F3. Through the chicane now. Apo let him through because he knows.
Well,
can
Geeson get one of those warnings removed though? That's what I've just
I
realised.
highly doubt it.
Yeah.
As Apo wins the British Grand Prix, followed by G Sumber, Lugoats, T-Rex. Wrongson is going to lose a position to Toby. Toby in P5, Wrongson P6, Jammy P7, as Chris Pat gets 3 second. Filippo P8, Breeze gets another 3 second as he finishes 14th. Alex P9.
Mark would be P9, would he? With the penalties?
Mark will be P9 actually.
Yeah.
As there is Chris Pat, what is he doing?
Mowing the grass.
As Isford gets P11, Vista P12.
He's actually mowing the grass.
He's doing a Valtteri Bottas. I remember racing this guy in F3 last season. And he gets 10 seconds and is disqualified, I think. Is he disqualified?
No. Doesn't look like it. He's only got 16 seconds.
I don't think he is, no.
35 seconds to get disqualified. Anyway, that will wrap up F4. F3 tomorrow with Mr. Sparrow Mulpey.
Will
Racing.
feature me in the Mercedes with Sofroniak, fingers crossed.
Yes.
Joining me.
Where they will try to hunt down championship leader Darius Bodin, the Romanian maestro in the Alpine.
It's very unlikely as he's a very, very quick driver.
And Lugoats gets driver of the day for killing Matthew. Too rightly so.
Well, hey!
Oh, you just know it's going to explode here. Anyway, just to round out our final standings before Stewards reports, Apo Tobo P1, Gieselbear P2. Lugoats are rounding out the rest of the podium finishers. Ronan, Toby, Matthew, Jammies, Philip, Mark, Alex, Isfod, Christopher, and Chris. All rounding out the finishers, I think. No, Bastian as well, sorry. And Bastian V's. Aspect, Angry Danish Driver, and Bios all don't finish. Just getting the race director now for anybody that needs it.
And yeah, that's the end of F4 today. Hopefully you all enjoyed it, and yeah, see you in Austria for next week's race.
Austria, where we have a sprint race.
Oh yes, we do, and one-shot qualifying.
Yeah. Oh god, that's going to be rough. Anyway, thank you and good night.